So, you think you were born to be a legend, a wild, untamed spirit of the American West, the hero of your own epic movie. You imagine a dramatic birth, perhaps during a thunderstorm on a windswept cliff. The reality, you just plop onto the ground in the middle of a boring field. Your mom gives you a few licks, which is less of a welcome to the world and more of a get the afterbirth off gesture. She then nudges you to get up. After a few comical faceplants, you're on your feet, wobbling like a newborn giraffe on a skateboard. You find the milk tap under mom and take your first drink. Your life as a legendary hero has begun. Or so you think. Your entire existence is about to be a harsh lesson in managing expectations, told in 3 acts. Act 1, the cowboy fantasy. For the first few months, life is good. You're part of a herd, which is basically a traveling commune run by a single grumpy landlord, the Stallion. He's also your dad, which makes family dinners incredibly awkward. You spend your days with the other foals, engaging in the ancient and noble art of bumping heads and sniffing each other's noses. You see yourself and your friends not as foals, but as a legendary posse of outlaws, getting ready to take on the world. At 4 months, you decide milk is for babies. You're a tough cowboy now. You eat grass. You take your first bite, and it's terrible. It's chewy, it's green, it's not milk. As you're struggling to chew this weird salad, you smell it, a sharp, musky scent. You look up, a wolf. This is it, your first showdown. You prepare to do something heroic, but before you can even think of a cool one-liner, your dad, the Stallion, teleports in front of you. He snorts, he stamps, he rears up looking like an angry, 4-legged security guard. The wolf takes one look at your dad, who clearly spends his weekends at the gym, and decides that today is not the day. It slinks back into the bushes. The showdown is over in 10 seconds. You didn't do anything. You just stood there and watched. Your posse of outlaw friends is equally useless. So much for being a hero. You spend the next year learning the boring herd schedule. Morning, eat. Afternoon, stand around. Evening, try not to get eaten. You watch your dad fight off other stallions who try to take over the herd. You think he's training you, passing on his legendary fighting skills. In reality, he's just annoyed that you're standing so close to him. Then winter comes. The world turns white and cold. Your cowboy fantasy of riding through sun-drenched canyons is replaced by the grim reality of digging through snow for a single frozen blade of grass. You thought you were a hero. It turns out, you're just a very cold, very hungry pony.
Act 2, the bachelor party from hell. You're 2 years old. You've hit puberty. You're feeling strong, confident, ready to take your place as the new hero of the herd. Your dad has other plans. He sees you not as his successor, but as an annoying teenager who eats all the food and looks at his mares funny. His friendly nudges turn into aggressive shoves. His fatherly advice turns into painful kicks. The message is clear: get out. You look to your outlaw posse for backup, but they're all getting the same treatment. So you're all fired, kicked out of the only home you've ever known. The young mares, your sisters and friends, get to stay. It's a harsh lesson in workplace politics. You and your buddies form a bachelor herd. You imagine it's going to be an epic road trip movie, a gang of cool young gunslingers roaming the plains looking for adventure. The reality? It's the bachelor party from hell. It's a group of unemployed, hormonal idiots with no adult supervision. Your days are spent wandering aimlessly, fighting over scraps of food, and getting into pointless, bloody fights with each other to establish pecking order. You thought you'd be fighting villains and saving the day. Instead, you're getting beaten up by your best friend Steve because you looked at a patch of grass he wanted. You spend years in this testosterone-fueled nightmare. You climb the ladder by getting into more and more brutal fights. You get scars. You get tougher. Finally, after countless bruises and a few chipped teeth, you become the strongest in the group. You are the leader of the losers. Now what? It's time to get your own herd. It's time to become the hero you were always meant to be. You and your gang set off. You find a herd, led by a tired, old stallion. Your buddies hype you up, practically making popcorn for the big showdown. You charge in, ready for your coronation. The fight is brutal. You kick, you bite, he kicks, he bites. 5 minutes later, you limp back to your gang, covered in bruises, totally defeated. Turns out, the old guy still had some fight left in him. You try again with another herd, same result, and another. You realize that becoming a hero isn't a single glorious battle, it's a long, painful, and deeply humiliating series of failed job interviews, each one ending with you getting kicked in the face.
Act 3. The Burden of a Hero. Finally, at the age of 5, you succeed. You defeat an old, weak stallion and claim his heart. You did it. You're the king, the hero. You stand majestically on a hill, your new mares grazing peacefully below. This is your moment. And then a wolf attacks, and you have to fight it off. And then a mountain lion attacks, and you have to fight that off. Then another young stallion, just like you were, shows up to challenge you, and you have to fight him off. You realize that being the hero, the leader, isn't about glory and adventure. It's a job, a 24/7 security guard job with no days off and no salary. You spend your days finding food for everyone, guiding them away from danger, and fighting. Your life is an endless series of stressful management meetings, except instead of spreadsheets, you're dealing with teeth and claws. The mares, they don't care about your heroic struggles. They're busy having foals and watching you get beaten up, probably taking bets on the side. You are at your peak strength, nearly unbeatable, but the weight of responsibility is crushing. This wasn't in the movie poster. You are now 12 years old. You've fought more battles than you can count. You're covered in scars. You're the undisputed king. You're also exhausted. Your muscles ache. You're slowing down. And a new challenger appears, a young stallion, full of energy and ambition. He looks exactly like you did all those years ago. You prepare for another fight, but this one feels different. You're tired. The fight is quick. He is stronger. He is faster. He wins. Just like that, it's over. You're defeated. The mares, your family that you protected for years, don't even give you a goodbye. They just follow their new, younger, stronger leader. That's gratitude for you. You are now, for the first time, truly alone. An old, beaten up, retired hero. Cast aside. You wander the same plains you once ruled. Winter comes, and it's colder than you've ever felt. You remember huddling with your herd for warmth. Now, there is no one.
You find shelter by a rocky cliff, shivering. And then you see them, a pack of wolves, led by an old, one-eyed wolf that you've fought and beaten a dozen times before. But you're not the same horse, and he knows it. He's not here for a fight. He's here to collect a debt. This is it, the final showdown. The old retired sheriff against the gang of villains he put away years ago. It would be a heroic ending if you had any strength left. You're too old, too tired, too cold. But as the wolves circle, you don't feel fear. You feel peace. You've lived the life you thought you wanted. You were the outlaw, the fighter, the king, the hero. You played every role. And it was all just tiring. You look at the one-eyed wolf. He looks at you. There's no anger, just a quiet understanding. You were both old. You were both survivors. This isn't a battle. It's just the end of the script. You close your eyes, ready for the credits to roll. Your life wasn't the epic movie you imagined, but in the end, you realize you were never the hero of the story. You were just another character in the wild, brutal, and beautifully pointless film of the American West.